OpenCode is a known CLI tool that can help you create code with AIs, and they release their application, their desktop application. This is their interface, and in this video we're going to see how you can go and run it and use it with GPT-5.2 to build a website. I've tested this in the past, and in here you can see that this is the website that this created, and you can see that this is the website that DevStral created with the help of some skills that make it better at designing things and understanding Astro and tailoring CSS. And in this video we're going to see if GPT 5.2 it is better and if it's doing a better job. So OpenCode can be used like this. You can use their terminal tool and you can use their application. Right now it can be installed for Mac OS, for Windows, for Linux, and I have installed also some skills, the open skills for this, that it's just using an bash command to run and load these skills, and I prepared the prompt. So this is the prompt. I told it to use these skills, front end and tailoring CSS, and ask it to run the open skill like this, and I will copy this prompt and we're going to use it. And in here you have the options to connect a provider, and you have some options to use the OpenCode Z. This is their API, and in there you will have also some free options to use some LLMs, and you have the options to use it with Anthropic, with GitHub Copilot and other providers, but we're going to use it with GitHub Copilot in my case. And in here I have already configured Copilot to work with this, and this is the interface. And in here you just open your project like this, and then it will be added in the left side. I've done some tests in the past with this. I will just create a new session, and yeah, in here you'll have the session context. In here you will have also a terminal that can be toggle on or off, and this is the chat interface. And I will just paste the prompt in here, and I will just ask it to start working on this project with GPT 5.2 through GitHub Copilot, which is the most affordable option right now. And this should start working. I hope you can use the open skills. If not, we are going to see the default GPT 5.2 and how well it does with Astro, with web UIs and tailoring CSS. Okay, it doesn't look to work in the terminal, just reading the skills right now, but we're going to let it work and see if it can create a good website for us without the use of these skills. And in here you see that it started reading the files and it created a to-do for us. And I'm curious to see how this interface is looking. So if you don't like to use the terminal for this, you have this option right now to use the desktop application. And in here you see that it's just reading the file, and you have the options to see the details and what he outputs. And soon he will go and start working on our project. In here you see that you have the steps. So GPT 5.2 is not that fast because it thinks a lot, I think. Okay, it's still reading the details, and in here you see that it took 2 minutes to just read what it has in here. Okay, it started creating a directory. In here it will start writing the details. Right now you see that it went and created the first file with site config, with title, details and everything like that. And in here you will have this nice interface in the right side with the files that he's creating and the differences highlighted. Yeah, it's looking pretty nice. Okay, it's still doing things. Let's see when he decides to go and create the other files. It is very slow. Okay, you will gonna add the other components, and in here you see the time that it is taking, so it does a lot of thinking before doing anything. Okay, so after he thought for a couple of minutes, he went and created all the files. So he thought for 2 or 3 minutes, and he created all of these files in one bat. Okay, and in here you see that you're having access to check these files quite easily in the right side. And if you're just going to check them, you're going to see the code for this. So it's using properly Astro. It created icons. Okay, it created everything. Sections for us. It created a button container. Hero panel SVG. I'm curious to see how the SVG will look. Okay, so right now it is reading these files. And in here you see that the session is using 32%. So the Copilot is not having the full context, it's only having about 120k, so this is the limitation if you're trying to use Copilot models. And right now he just goes and edits the file. So right now, for instance, for the layout, in here you see that he added 25 rows and he removed 20, and in here you'll see what he removed and what he added, so it looks quite nice. In the left side in here you see the details with all the files that he created, and he added about 1000 rows with only removing 21 rows. Okay, so right now he's just continue with the work. It had 10 minutes since started, so it's doing a lot of thinking. So the other models, in 10 minutes everything was done. Okay, it added a reveal in here. So in here you can expand all, collapse all, make this thing bigger like this. We can go in the code with session. Let's put it as it was. Okay, so right now it's reading again the layout. Let's wait for him to move to the next step. Again, it started creating a lot of files. It's writing all the files in parallel. So he created 32 files. So right now it created the pages for about like this. Services. Okay, it look this desktop tool is not able to run commands that well. You see in here that is not able to run the npm run build to test this, but npm it's installed. Let's see. So that's why the skills could not be loaded in the beginning, because the desktop application, I think it has this problem. It's in beta. Maybe this will be fixed. But if you're going to run it in here and you put npm run build, if you open the terminal, you will be able to run this, you see, and it didn't have any error, only a warning. So let's see what he created, because right now it's creating the readme file with the details, and it should finish, I think. Okay, yeah, it created the story for us. It told us what he created. So he did about 34 files with about 1361 lines, and yeah, this is the interface and this is how it's looking. So if you're going to check, for instance, the global, you'll see the difference in here with what he modified. So the interface for OpenCode desktop application looks nice. Let's see what GPT 5.2 was able to do. And here you see the context, so only used almost half of the tokens. So let's open the terminal in here, npm run dev, like this, and this is the port, and let's go and open this into a browser and see. You cannot even copy from the application that well. So this is what he created. Let me make it this bigger. So this is the solar panel website. I've seen that ChatGPT 5.2 it's using these grid styles and dark mode everywhere. So I guess this is how he is trained. So this is the image that he created. It doesn't look bad. Also, this doesn't look that bad, but maybe this is more suitable for a SAS or something that is not that nice, if you are asking me. But he was able to use gradients and created something that is looking different than the other models are doing. In here you see the projects with the call to action, the about page, contact. So yeah, it's created something, but if you're going to check the DevStral, which is a cheaper model, you see that I think this is looking nicer than what ChatGPT 5.2 did, and this was faster and is looking more pleasant. But yeah, this is what the GPT 5.2 has in his training, so he's just liking these things in here to look like this. So it's using these boxes everywhere. I've tried it also in the past in some project, and it prefers this kind of UI design. So if you are preferring this kind of things, you should use the GPT-5.2. And if you are going to check the OpenCode desktop application, so I think it has a promising start. The design is looking nice, and in here you see the project and details. You can connect everything in there. So in case you are not preferring the terminal and you are preferring this kind of thing, an application, you can use this, but right now it has some problems. You see that when it tries to run that bash commands, it can't, and everything it's in there, and it should be able to run it, but I think it is a bug. So right now this is in beginning, and I think after a couple of updates this would be fixed. But from my point of view, the application looks nice, and it can help you work with OpenCode into the interface. You have also the terminal. You can easily connect any provider in here. You have access to you have access to all of your projects in here, so you can go and chat with them. You can change the model easily in here. You can switch between build and plan. You can add images if you want easily, and yeah, I mean, OpenCode did a pretty good job, but it still needs to be polished from my point of view. I'm curious to see how it will look in a couple of weeks when the problems will be fixed. So that's all. This is how the application is working and how ChatGPT 5.2 is creating an UI for us with SVGs. I hope you enjoyed the video. In case you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe.